I have never told this as a story before. I always described it as an incident, an experience, something that happened. Calling it a story makes it feel too contained, too clean. What happened to us never really ended, and I don't think it ever will. There were 4 of us, me, Marios, Eleni, and Petros. We were university friends, close enough to trust one another without question. We spent a weekend in a small village near the border, surrounded by forest in every direction. The trees were tall, packed so tightly together that from certain angles they looked like a solid wall. The village itself felt old and cautious, like it had learned not to attract attention. The locals weren't rude, but they were distant. They watched us. When we asked about hiking trails, the answers were vague. We were told we could walk near the edge of the forest, but not too far in. When Petros jokingly asked what lived deeper inside, the man we were speaking to paused before answering. He didn't smile. "People lose their way," he said. That night, Eleni barely slept. She told us she heard footsteps circling the building, slow and deliberate, stopping whenever she held her breath. We blamed animals. It was easier that way. On Sunday afternoon, just after 4, we decided to go for a walk. The sky was overcast, heavy, but there was no wind, no movement at all. Even before we entered the forest, the silence felt wrong, like something holding its breath. The trail was narrow but visible, marked by old signs and faint carvings on trees. As we went deeper, the air grew colder and damp, carrying the smell of decay and metal. One by one, our phones lost signal. That didn't surprise us, but what did was how quickly the forest swallowed sound. Our voices didn't echo properly. They felt absorbed, flattened after a while. I noticed something unsettling. When we stopped walking, something else seemed to stop too, just a moment later, like delayed footsteps. I didn't mention it at first. Then we heard the voice. It was faint, coming from deep among the trees to our right. "Help." We froze. The word carried no panic, no urgency. It sounded practiced. Eleni instinctively took a step toward it before I grabbed her arm. The voice came again, closer this time, still wrong. That was when it spoke, using Marios's voice. "Guys, I'm here." Marios was standing beside me. His face drained of color as he shook his head slowly. I didn't say that. After that moment, the forest felt different, heavier. The air seemed thicker, as if it resisted movement. We decided to turn back, but the trail no longer behaved as it should have. We passed the same broken tree with a lightning-split trunk again and again, 3 times. Marios carved a mark into the bark with his pocket knife. When we came round once more, the mark was gone, replaced by deep scratches far higher than any of us could reach. That's when we saw it, just off the path. Partially hidden behind bushes stood something shaped like a deer. At first glance, your brain wanted to accept it, but the details were wrong. Its legs bent backward at unnatural angles. Its chest rose and fell like lungs, still learning how to work. The skin around its neck hung loose, as though it had been pulled over a frame that didn't quite fit. Its eyes were human. They followed us individually, studying our faces. When it spoke, it used Eleni's voice. But better than before, softer, emotional. "I'm scared," it said. "Please." Eleni began to sob. The creature's mouth stretched wider than it should have, and the sound that came out wasn't quite a laugh, but it wasn't a scream either. It sounded pleased. Then it changed. The deer shape collapsed inward. Bones shifted audibly beneath the skin. Limbs shortened, joints snapping into new positions. The head twisted, reformed, pulled into something almost familiar. The skin tightened, folded, adjusted itself like clothing being tailored in real time. When it stood again, it was shaped like a human, like Petros. But it didn't understand being him. Its smile came too slowly. Its blinking was deliberate, delayed. When it spoke, it copied Petros's tone but missed the rhythm. "You left," it said. That wasn't right. Petros was standing next to me. There were two of him. That was when we ran. The forest turned hostile instantly. Branches tore at us. Roots rose where they hadn't been before. Voices chased us from every direction. Our voices, our family's voices. Petros screaming in pain. At one point, I realized with terror that something was running ahead of us as well, guiding us, herding us deeper before suddenly vanishing. Mario's fell hard. I dragged him up without looking back. I felt breath on my neck that was too warm, too close, and not human. When we broke through the tree line, the forest stopped abruptly, like hitting an invisible wall. One step we were inside, the next we were on asphalt. Silence crashed down behind us. Only 3 of us made it out. Search teams found nothing. No blood, no clothes. No sign Petros had ever been there. Just footprints, bare human footprints leading from the forest to the road. Then turning around and walking back inside. The villagers weren't surprised. One of them said quietly, "It learned enough. Years have passed." Marios refuses to talk about it. Eleni moves often. I don't answer my phone if I don't recognize the number. Sometimes I still receive messages from Petros's phone. Casual messages, familiar ones, as if nothing ever happened. And some nights, when everything is quiet enough, I hear someone standing outside my door, breathing patiently. Because skinwalkers don't hunt bodies, they hunt permission. And once they learn how to be you, they never forget.